Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to look at our bin that has the pine shavings in it. Now, these pine shavings are slowly starting to break down, it looks like, but it's taking quite a while, a little bit longer than I thought, but we're going to continue on with this project and see how it goes. Now, the last time we checked our bin, we found African night crawlers had migrated over from the system right next door. So I have actually moved that system away. There's about a 2-inch to 3-inch gap between them, and hopefully that'll prevent these worms from coming over into this new bin. But we're going to kind of really churn through this bin and check it when we're going through to make sure there's no more African night crawlers left. Hopefully there's not cocoons in there, otherwise this is now a mixed system, which is not really what I wanted, and sort of defeats the purpose, since I was going to test this probably with African night crawlers later to see if they could chew through this bedding material faster, since they are zooming through cardboard like crazy. So going back to this system, it's been 18 days since our last update. We're going to add food, we're going to add some crushed eggshell probably to it, and we're going to see how it's doing. So let's take a look and see what's going on with this bin. All right, here is the bin. Our last update was on 7/8. Today is the 26th, so that makes it 18 days. So let's just peel. Actually, we'll leave that on for now. Let's start taking off these bags. So we covered this up last time as it was starting to dry out a little bit. This time the bags do look like they're holding in some moisture, which is a good thing. Well, let's just see if it's a little bit too moist in here. When I was opening this up before, taking it out, I saw some mites crawling around in here. So I'm wondering if those mites are now starting to get in there a little bit too much. So we'll take a look, and actually I think that's an African night crawler right there already on top. So not a good sign or a good start to this system here. So let's just zoom in just a little bit. Whoops, wrong way. Zoom in just a little bit there for you. So we're not zoomed out all the way, but I really do think that that one on top is an African night crawler. And we'll just pull him off if we can. I am guaranteed that is an African night crawler. So we have our first one that we're finding here that may have migrated over. But as I said, we're going to dig into this and really turn this over and do a search for him. And also you can see, I mean, there's some other worms in here too. These are definitely some of my red worms, our standard worm here that we have. So it's not just African night crawlers, but let's just take a look in here real quick. First off, we still have some food left over. They're still working on it, surprisingly. I really expected all the food to be gone by now, you know, with nearly 20 days. Oh, it smells good in here. It smells like this is obviously this is a piece of orange or clementines or peels, and it actually smells really, really good. I did see some mites in here, as I was saying, and overall, you know, I didn't really see anything major as far as there wasn't too many of them, but there were definitely some. This is still, I think, a leftover banana peel, looks like right there. So we're going to leave that over there in that corner just for now. And it looks like this might be a piece of food as well, probably another banana peel. So they have some food left over in here. We might not add any more food at this point. We might just leave this as is with that type of food, although we might add a little bit more, but maybe just a smaller feeding than normal. So first off, though, this material's starting to finally really turn. You can see there are some castings mixed into it. When I lift it up here, I'm going to just lift it a little bit closer to the camera. You can see that there are some castings mixed in there, but they still have their original texture, really. So they're still taking a long time to break down. I think we started this early this year, which means that we've been going for almost 7 months, and this still looks, I mean, you can still tell that they are pine shavings. There's no doubt about it. It does seem a little bit lighter on worms than usual as far as the worm counts, although they are mixed in here, I'm sure. It just doesn't seem quite as high. Like, I mean, I'm finding like pockets of them where there's a couple here and there, but it's not as major as it's been sometimes where there's like a big ball of them. Maybe it's just because there's not enough food in some certain sections. Maybe it's an air thing. They do look a little bit lethargic, maybe. So maybe we need to add a little bit of air pocket for them to go through. You can see, I mean, like there's almost none in there. Let's just get another big handful here. There's one down there in the bottom by my hand, or fingers, I should say. A couple of them in there. They're not looking real healthy. I think this might be an oxygen thing. I'm not getting any anaerobic smells, but it doesn't look 100% healthy, the bin right now, and I'm wondering if it's just an oxygen thing. I wonder if they need more of this. Flipping this over will hopefully help them out a little bit. It seems like there's enough moisture in here. I mean, I'm not You know, it's a little bit light maybe on moisture. I could probably squeeze some out of all these handfuls, but it's not like the bottom of the container is not saturated or soaking up water. But like you can see, it's kind of a little bit compact. Some of these right here are moving around a little bit better. But overall, it's not bad, but it's not in great condition. So I do think that they need a little bit more oxygen. Well, there seems to be a pocket of worms over here. Must have been some food left over. Maybe there's some other food in this bin that's still left over and they're still working on it. Maybe that's why they're not quite as spread out. So we can see that there's some more worms over here. Again, I'm not seeing any African night crawlers this time. Just that one on top. So I'm wondering if that one was from last time or if he just got over there. I don't know what that is right there. There's a piece of something right here. I don't know what that is. That's a piece of food of some sort, I'm guessing. So I'm guessing there's still some food left over here, which is maybe why they're over on this side as well. So yeah, you can still see that there's quite a few over here. There's something over here that they are eating that they seem to like. So I mean, you can see right there's a big handful right there. They're small, but there's quite a few of them in there. As you break it apart, we see a few more. So there's just definitely something on this side that they were really liking. I mean, there was some in that food section, but there's something over here that they seem to really, really like. Maybe the food's a little bit more broken down. There's more of this, whatever this is. I don't know what this was that's in there. I wonder if that was a piece of avocado or something. I think I had thrown a full avocado piece in here at one point. You can just see there's a lot of worms in here. They're doing pretty well now. On this side, it looks a little better. Makes me feel a little better about the system. I still think it needs some more oxygen and maybe even a little bit more water. It seems a little bit dry in here. There we go. There's a ton of them by this corner. And there you go. There's a big food source right there. So I think that is avocado that they are working on. So yep, that is a piece of avocado. That's what this is. This white stuff that's in there. That's avocado. And then you can see if I flip it over. Hopefully this is in focus for you. Let me just focus like that. You can see that that's the shell right there. And then that's the fruit inside. So I think that's what they're focusing on over here is that avocado, and that's why they're not as spread out through the bin. So that could be why. I do think that this needs a little bit more food. I definitely think that it needs a little bit of water and then also maybe a little bit more oxygen with the bags not quite on top as tight on top. And when I say a little bit of water, I really do mean a little bit. I'm just going to kind of do a light spraying in here. It could be enough water, but it just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem, it seems like it's drier than it looks. It looks wet, but it's pretty dry. Now we're going to add, if we are going to add a feeding in here, I think we're going to add a small one right here to the center section, as we're just in on this side over there. Throw that little piece back in there. And as I said, just a small feeding this time. We're really not going to add a whole lot. We have some carrot peels and some coffee grounds. Let me see if I can grab a few more carrot peels from here. They're kind of breaking apart as they're frozen. But there we go. I think there might be a piece of celery in here as well, a small piece. But there we go, just a small feeding, just that way they have something else to go to or migrate to when the other foods are gone, since they looked like they were pretty gone there. Now I'm going to add some of my crushed crab and eggshell here. Just a little bit. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to cover this up. I didn't see any fruit flies in here, so there's no issue with that. This is a piece of the avocado. I'm just going to bury that in there because that would probably attract fruit flies. So we're going to cover that up a little bit, just like that. There we go. I think that's good. See these little pieces of avocado that I spread through everywhere. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of water just to the surface here. It's just going to be something that can evaporate down. It's going to soak back in there, but we're going to leave the bags, I think, maybe off a little bit on this time. We're gonna kind of leave them to one side, so that way there's a little bit more room in there. As I said, we're doing a light watering. This is gonna filter down pretty quickly. I have found with the pine shavings here. I find that it does not just stay on the surface. It really soaks right through to the bottom. So now, as far as these bags go, what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of put them off to the side like this. So there's a little bit of area that's covered, but not a whole lot. And we'll do the other side as well, just like this, just so we don't make a huge mess, which I just did anyhow, but most of it's open over the top. And then for this last bag, we're just going to throw it right on top of this other bag over here. And that way, if they want to get underneath these, they can, to keep a little bit more moist, but that way they don't have to. So, as you can see here, that's the way it looks. Hopefully everything was in view. I just noticed I was zoomed in a little bit too far maybe on that, but that's the way it looks right now. So we're going to put this back. We're going to let it sit. I will update this date on here. Take that off. I'll put down the 26th, and I'll put that in the center where we did our feeding. And that's my update. If you have any questions, please let me know. And please remember, I do have Amazon links down below to purchase a lot of these items. And also, if you're looking at the bag systems, I do have affiliate links for those as well. So thank you for watching. And again, please leave a comment down below.